The assumption of practice is there.
Yeah, Fizz, Kennen, and Caitlyn were the bans for G2. The reason they banned Caitlyn was to avoid the Ivern-Caitlyn combination we often see on red side coming in very early, now that they were first picking Lee Sin. Same start for SKT. Zyra is now the only support they haven't banned that we already saw banned in Game 2.
Yep. Game 1 and 3 had the same bans across the two of them, and looks like 2 and 4 may be in the exact same boat here as G2 have obliged and done the same as last time.
Meanwhile, SKT deciding if they still want to, have the Kog'Maw in there instead of the Twitch, actually.
I like this ban a lot. We just said Zyra is not something Mithy has shown us here in playoffs, so you don't have to ban it. And this ban here actually allows Bang now to play Twitch. It was kind of blocked for him in the last one, but you can go for a late game combo like Tahm Kench, Twitch, Ivern if you want to play that style, and you have a fantastic late game.
One of the keys for G2 has been, drafting late game scaling reliability while still enough of the early game to afford Trick to play off those lanes.
There it is. So the ban is extremely smart after Sven showed he would take it early in the last game.
Letter G brought to you here in Game 2. Going back towards Olaf and actually going to lock it in over the Graves and the Ivern opportunities. He's going to mirror the same matchup as last time.
Definitely see if he wants to make any earlier moves here than with the Olaf, as opposed to the Graves where he's just trying to force the enemy into his side of the jungle for farming and get Lee Sin to sort of inaction.
Yeah, now you're in a bit of a tricky spot for G2 because if you pick Tahm Kench, oh, okay, Thresh got Lista, baby!
This is an aggressive bottom lane. You showed the early Twitch pick, and they're going at you.
And I've heard so many AD carries and even support players talk about, oh yeah, they lock in the Twitch. Instantly give me the Thresh plus the Kalista. Yet G2 actually do it. Sven and Mithy, one of the most confident bottom lanes with that combination. An incredible amount of playmaking.
Sadly for them, Tahm Kench was left open, and Tahm Kench is very good against Thresh because you can just deny the kill potential when Thresh goes for that hook. That is something that will be good for Wolf, but not a lane where SKT will put pressure on G2.
Yeah, I'm still excited for the playmaking.
Oh, you should be.
The options here, especially with Lee Sin, Lantern gangs, like there's so much threat here for the bottom lane combination. Just in the first phase of drafting, this is going to be an exciting one.
Time for the Vans to come through. We've already seen the Shen is off the table. SKT clearly unwilling to play the champion themselves. Ran that one several times here against Expect. G2's trying to ban something away.
Yeah, also makes sense to remove it now against Thresh Kalista. Like, you don't want to add another thing to this bot lane party that G2 are trying to set up. Galio has been a pick we've seen in every single game. Oftentimes you want to either ban the Fiora, or you want to wait with picking the Galio to see the enemy top lane.
I like the Syndra ban here from SK Telecom, seeing the Fizz and Ahri off the table already.
Cassiopeia still open. Was a pick, obviously Faker used great success in team fights in Game 1, and then yesterday, or sorry, 2 days ago against the Flash Wolves, and he can last pick it if he wants to. Like, Huni can go for that Rumble top if he wants a blind pick. Or even Galio and challenge Expect to actually show the Fiora. Okay, they banned the Fiora, so now Galio blind pick is open for Huni.
The GP was such a good answer from G2, from Expect into that Galio. You have to be cautious.
Yeah, it's definitely a good answer, but I still think SKT can take the Galio and just play safe, because play safe around the top side, because they lost that early skirmish. If they hadn't lost that skirmish, they were doing fine with Galio. But this is the other blind option we mentioned, and obviously, as you highlight, Kobe, it's just to avoid the gangplank.
Exactly.
Now you can just Galio.
Huni does not like getting solo killed, no matter what else goes on in the game.
Oh, Huni has bad memories with GP. He actually got outplayed against Soaz with it 2 years ago in Europe, in our European final. So Galio could come in now for Expect if he wants to play that against Rumble like we saw just before. Does he want something else? Does he want more hard engage with this? Or
oh my goodness, there's a lot of playmaking ability here on the G2 esports side. Shockwave after the Kalista ultimate. Thresh gets thrown in there. Galio comes down on top. The theory crafting is definitely there, but pulling that off against SKT, more difficult task.
Right, it's almost the exact same thing as you had in the previous game, and they weren't able to do so and punish the SKT flash cooldown. So now we'll see if it works a bit better this time around. LeBlanc, the final pick here for SKT.
Oh. Faker LeBlanc at MSI.
Yeah, we never say no to that one.
But last year, 2 years ago I should say, Faker's LeBlanc was the downfall of SKT at the hands of Edward Gaming in Game 5.
Exactly, but this is a last pick LeBlanc. No Morgana in this game. Right into the Orianna.
And I want to go back to your point, Freak, regarding G2 and, you know, maybe lacking like easy tools to start fights with. Like a lot of this is on Trick to find a good engage, and that's where maybe, again, things like Gragas that offers a bit more hard engage for your team can be easier to play. But Galio is just such a power pick that you feel like you have to take him when he's open.
And I just love the combination, how much confidence you can give Mithy to actually take his hooks. I think you guys need to have more faith in Mithy's death sentences here.
That's a Tom Kench on the other side.
Well, he can take it in. He can still take the death sentence in, then get pulled out by Kalista after the Galio ultimate has already been channeled on that placement. So, I mean, the yo-yo composition here from G2, I'm seeing all the theory crafting in my head is just exploding right now.
And then we're seeing
the carry. Pull off.
Then we're seeing the carry in Wolf's belly, not taking any damage, doing that insane engage. And G2's like, wait a minute, we didn't kill anyone.
All the fireworks go off and SKT members still live.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch the carries in SKT, and if they do live through these fireworks, if Wolf can continue to support the squad, he's made some big plays so far this year. We'll see if he can do it again on the Tom Kench. And Game 4 is ready to begin here in Rio de Janeiro in front of thousands of cheering Brazilian fans. Will SKT secure the championship on this one, or will G2 from Europe bring us to Game 5?
No matter what happens, then this has been a very, very fun final to watch. Very competitive games, back and forth as well. G2 has definitely shown up.
And I'm so happy about this tournament because it came in saying, is this the one where SKT wins the title undefeated? And instead, we get to see maybe the gap is closing when G2 plays at their best.
Oh, careful. Careful with that one. SKT always end up winning when we say the gap is closing.
But even Gigabyte Marine surprising and getting 3 wins during the group stage as well. Like, there have been so many pleasant surprises at MSI this year. We saw Premier SKT last game, but they looked really sharp, and we know that team is still up to that level, but so many other teams have stepped up at this tournament, which is so great to see.
One thing is for sure, the vacation, definitely a thing of the past. That is over. G2's
they
hard
gave it to
work.
WE and said, it's yours now.
G2's hard work completely paying off, getting into the finals and showing up in the finals. Very tall task, but they have accomplished quite a bit here. Let's see if they can make this game exciting and push it to another one, or will SKT, this iteration of SKT, be able to claim the trophy here? Huni, Peanut, finally being able to raise the trophy. They joined this team to win international competitions, to come first place.
Well, SKT give the tell that they are in fact leashing blue buff for their Olaf. One of the strengths of that champion is that he doesn't need the leash at all. You can play for lane dominance on the other sides of the map. But ooh, that was actually pretty close because 1 HP and I believe Deadly Venom was still on the target. There was a chance he lost that blue buff. It was close.
See, bot lane now. Kalista, Thresh, always a lane where if you make one mistake against him, you get hooked in, played, and then suddenly you just go down.
Yeah, instant aggression there from Mithy. One of the reasons that they did land a little bit of extra damage there on the clear for Peanut as well, because they didn't want to contest super early. Also, it's accelerating Peanut into an early movement by mid lane here. Orianna definitely some pressure.
A lot of damage here. He's got a flash wait. No, he's got to wait for Trick to come in. Pushing the damage on a Faker, not much else to get. A trade of equal damage.
Very good counter gank here. And I also like Peanut actually paying attention to mid lane early because it's been G2 always ganking Faker and getting perks ahead. Now they're trying to get this LeBlanc rolling.
Meanwhile, pushing top lane, always want to highlight these deep wards because it's been so crucial. Huni on the Rumble is vulnerable if he perma pushes up, but he's able to not only get the early ward in there, he also destroys the blast cone to remove one more option for Frick.
He's doing this so often when he has to push, like that exact move.
Literally every single top laner at this tournament, I think, has actually done that well if they're the pushing matchup.
So we're not calling it a Huni?
I think it came around before.
Fine, it's a top lane move then.
Still good to do it. Of course, Rumble gonna have the push lead early on in the matchup, and it's still a strength, whether it's expected or not. That's still good play.
If you pushed up and warded their blue buff on Lucian, that's a Huni.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's take it on. Let's see if Trick can make something happen top side.
Those lane ganks, they have worked out for him in the past.
Oh, he snuck in there.
Yeah, I don't think they saw him, and with that minion dead, he can go even farther forward. So Huni may have an understanding that, of course, he could be here now, but Peanut's recalling away, so it's going to be a 2-on-1 if they go for it.
Yeah, Huni just trying to play it safe, and Trick doesn't want to waste time. That's why he just goes in for the play here to push out the lane. He knows that Huni has already kind of figured out he's on top side because he saw him at that blue buff, and Huni just like pulls the wave back to his tower and says, I'm not going forward.
Yeah, and he also expects not to waste any time, right? He accelerates the pushing of that into the turret so that Expect can go for his recall now, get his purchase off, and get back to lane.
You can see actually pretty substantially down to the bot lane, +5 minions right now. Still full potions for Sven. So far okay for the G2 counter pick lane. Trick now back in the mid lane. His third time influencing a lane. Faker than a half HP, slowed a bit by Perks. That's a chain missed. Ward hop forward. Faker no longer has any cooldowns. Ball tracks Peanut.
Oh, okay. Faker jumping back in, trying to get some damage onto Trick. And we see the same kind of play where the mid lane is hovering to the side where their jungler is, just nearby for a counter gank. Hard for G2 to kill this bot lane due to the time Kench, but you don't need kills early on Kalista. You can still become such a powerhouse later in these fights.
Exactly, trying to retain control of the wave. Expect doing similar here. Good trade onto Huni.
Pretty good damage here. Of course, first TP's already been had by Expect the double Doran's Ring recall. Huni happy to wait a little bit longer, and then he can match that with more items.
Going back to Sven and Kalista, if people haven't really followed his career, like back in the day when he joined Origin and made it into the LCS, made it top 4 at Worlds, like his Kalista was so famous in Europe. He banned almost every single game.
And I remember even at Worlds he was getting banned, so not just in Europe, but Sven definitely one of those legacy Kalista players.
And then Kalista got nerfed, and he spent a year whining on Twitter about why didn't we buff Kalista so he could play her again. She did receive a few buffs. Not a lot of AD carries like to play her as like a high tier pick, but if you are one of these guys where it's a comfort pick for you, then you can still have great games on it.
It's funny that Kalista didn't even get any straight buffs. It was Blade of the Ruin King
That's
got
true,
better.
yeah.
Everyone else just kind of joined her territory. Ruin King rep. The item, of course, so much stronger now. We can see if he can keep pressuring on the Bang. And for those who don't watch a lot of this anymore, you get one spear into a minion, then you go and try to get your opponents off, and that's been going pretty well. Nice predict by Perks, actually got the ball over where the distortion was going to be, and Faker jumps back onto it. Of course, there was a buff where Ren gives you the mana back on just one minion kill, so they're right to Fischio. But it makes that laning pattern even easier. Land one auto, land one on a minion, hit E, receive free damage.
And I want to return to the top lane, actually, because we have a very forward ward. Actually,
We're on bot lane now.
it doesn't matter what I want. But anyways, this ward I wanted to highlight because we talk about the pushing of Rumble. He wants to stay far up, but he has to worry about the lane ganks of Trick. You know, he just was the victim of a single one. Now he's trying to defend that ward. You can see Expect was hovering very close to that brush before he walked in there to see that it actually is there, and he can take that out, opening up more possibilities of lane ganks.
This time I think he's going to kill the ward off. Looks like he found...
He never walked in the bush.
Ah, he never
So he
checked.
gets value out of that ward.
Oh, he didn't see it either. He was looking at Rumble.
They have to
All right,
know.
okay,
All
okay,
right.
okay.
Again, this one is going to be Expect pushing the wave into the turret once again, but it's a pretty substantial minion lead for Huni right now, about 10. Similar lead to what's in the bot lane. Look like Sven and maybe going to let the push come in. Wolf's level 5.
Ooh, they get the gray health out of Top Kench.
Also, Bang has used his potion, so all these little trades right now will go in favor of Sven because he still has his potion. He just popped it right now. We'll get the HP advantage, but once again, SKT can just try and play it safe and go back. In case he had hit the hook, Devour would come in from Wolf instantly.
Being at the level 6, looking for the bot side of the map. Here's the Ghost, wants to go for the gank, and here comes the all-in as well. A lot of damage on the mid. They're going to go right for that one. 20 damage there, the flash to follow, and that's sure to be first blood picked up for Peanut in the bot lane.
Right before they hit level 6, still level 5, and they get in there for the kill. Very nice timing from Peanut. Calm down. You talk about it. They're out of potions. They're out of sustain. They're almost ready to back. right before level 6 comes in, the opening, they're able to punish the aggression from G2.
Perfect timing right there from Peanut, really making sure this bot lane will be doing well from SKT. And yeah, Minty and Sven are obviously just playing the lane normal 2v2. But as soon as Peanut shows up, and there's no wards from G2 near that river to actually spot the Olaf. So they get surprised, and they end up going down mid-man trading.
Good damage out of Faker. They're on to Perks, starting to win this trade a bit more. Was a 9 minion lead for Perks to be traded back a little bit right here. Nice juke by Fake, gets away from the ball. Walks away pretty cleanly. Minty, though, over the wall, walks into this one, choosing not to follow, and of course, Wolf there for the Devour.
You can tell Perks is ready. He's theory crafting as well. Pass him the ball, Shockwave ready. Oh, Faker draws it out.
He wants to go back to base anyway on the side of Perks, so he's okay, quote-unquote, wasting that cooldown.
And out he goes. Faker is going for the now very normal Gunblade build. We'd seen a couple people do differently. Maple didn't go for it earlier on this tournament. The stand and sustain, fairly highly durable, split pushing block build is the one coming in for Faker.
I really like to sustain against things like Orianna that won't one-shot you, where it's a lot of small trades happening in lane. That extra sustain just really helps you stay, and so you can always look for trades back against Perks here.
Does also remind you what SKT are looking for. You know, they have the double teleport, want to split you up, pressure on the opposite side. Tom Kench will become available. The Twitch is something that Bang has used very offensively. The only AD carry with that assassination potential, he's really used that threat quite often.
Can't have a final without Bang playing that Twitch, and as we talked about in chat, so like the engage from G2, it can be very hard to execute properly against things like Tom Kench as well. Olaf ulti can also block the hook, or maybe, you know, make it harder for G2 to actually start the fight. And then suddenly, you might not get the target you want.
Right now, no targets to be had for G2. All they've been able to do is get minion control. These hooks mean absolutely nothing. Mithy lands it and goes, well, that's 80 damage. See you later.
Ah, he found the ward.
This is
I
round
think
2.
that's number 2.
Yeah.
Found the second ward.
It goes. Here's the ulti coming in because Peanut wants for this one, and Zen gets the lantern out. Nice little alley-oop there. Throw your teammate out and give him the lantern away, but Baker's now to join the party. Exhausted by some time, and they're gonna kill him for it. Only the 1-for-1, maybe not a good use of his time.
Meanwhile, exactly, Perks is going to be able to push up this mid lane now into the turret. Roam from Huni down through the river will be seen on the pink ward, so he actually doesn't even have to worry.
Ooh, he actually walks towards him here. Remember, Galio ulti is available in case they want to try and make a play, but instead it's Perks near the tower. Huni walks down for nothing. So important for G2 to get a kill on Sven in the bottom lane when they got ganked again.
Exactly, take another look at here. The ultimate is available, so they're able to do the alley-oop escape from the Kalista Thresh that's so annoying for people to deal with, and Sven almost able to survive there, but Faker got up his last Q, even under exhaust, gets the kill.
Great exhaust though, very instantly, but also the thing about LeBlanc now, after all these changes, like your instant burst is not that insane. Like you need that passing ring to kind of give you just like wait 1 second and then have it ready and then proc it. So when you jump in like that, you don't actually one-shot people like you used to do back in the day. Mithy, he's getting caught.
They know that there's no Kalista ultimate backup yet either.
No way out. Attacks a ward in futility, and down he goes. 3-1 SKT.
Yeah, it's a huge problem for G2. They have no vision on this bottom side at all. So when Mithy walks in to try and clear a ward, like he sees nothing in the river. He doesn't even see anything in his own jungle. So Peanut can just walk in behind him, and there's no Kalista ulti to get him out, and then you just go down again. So SKT have successfully camped this bottom side, and Perks are not able to help the vision. Trick, kind of the same.
Another trade in for Faker. Good damage there on a Perks, down below half HP, and feels like there's a sense of looming dread of impending doom as early game SKT leads have turned into victories every time so far this series.
Huni defending ward number 3 in that forward-facing control ward's bush. The anti-trick ward.
I mean, you would think at this point the Trick tries to come from the river.
Yeah, exactly.
If he wants to go for the gank, knowing that ward is always there.
Nice attempt on the hook, but Faker instead gets the chain damage. Good little trade, and a Mithy down to half HP. Here comes Wolf with the backside kick.
Oh!
In the wow, into the turret from Trick now, and Perk's going to join the fray as well. Nice shock with to buy some time, and Wolf does go a bit too far. gets turned into gumbo. A nice kill picked up there for Perks, turning the kills back to only 1,000 gold difference.
Nice counter engage there from G2, ready to turn it around on SKT. Getting a kill back for themselves.
See around mid lane. Bang is sneaking his way in there. Perks is fairly low on HP, but Flash and Barrier available. Bang's not going to find anything in the mid lane.
There it is, though, the threat from the assassination of this Blade of the Ruin King. Completed switch, moving in.
Ooh, nicely done. Peanut gets the steal away. And it's a force retreat out of Trick. Great red steal. Ooh, that's even a better hook, though, and Bang has to flash out of this one. Trick did not have a kick available, no way to get him.
So many small things right now, like, you know, small trades where you maybe force a flash or steal away a red buff. The game is not, you know, blown wide open just yet. So all these small things can be super important for the following minutes. Like right now, if you're G2, you can maybe make a play against Bang. He has no flash, and boom, no flash either.
Needs a lantern, gets it locking away. Nice hook on Olaf to buy a bit of time there. Plenty of damage up for this one.
Teleport now.
Help. And here comes the TPs in. Expect might join the fray as well. Good damage on a Bang. He is now flashless. Can Trick get the kill? The top to buy some time. Expect makes it happen. 1 for 0 so far. Wolf to Istrom dead. Nothing yet picked up though. SKT on the retreat. Booney does not have an ultimate for this one. Expect running out of health. The chain is going to be there. Plenty of damage out of Faker potentially. We're going to buy some time. Expect just barely sneaking away. The shield's there for Trick. He's going to stay alive. The flash to guarantee it lands in time. So just the 1 for 0, and SKT still in control of the map.
Exactly, and they can push in on this turret. 1 minion down. Perks actually.
Barriers in, flashing some of the skill shots. Great dodge and the shockwave. Do they have the damage to kill out Perks? Not just yet. Peanut slow, but it's Tooney who has aggro. The jump back in doesn't quite have the damage. Perks stays alive. And just barely the tower dive is thwarted.
Faker looking for the finish there, but Perks barely survives. Expect barely survived. Everyone on G2 living with slivers, and the turret will stand as well.
All right, so this is the first fight. We just talked about no flash here for Wolf and Bang. So this engage is very, very risky from SKT, but they have to double TP.
In addition to the fact that before that teleport, we saw Hooney use his ultimate on the minion wave, so no equalizer here. And just think about how many people got away with slivers of health. The long range on equalizer definitely would have been able to kill at least one of them.
Right here, Expect wants to make sure Perks can walk away before Expect takes the lantern.
That's a double kill right there.
Oh, stays alive. And now Faker coming in. Pretty sure he did not get off an auto attack to actually use.
One at the very end, I think.
Did he
He autoed late.
Okay.
And it might have been on at the start.
It is important with the Hextech Revolver, you get the auto off when you go in.
That's an auto right there.
That's one there. He comes back in, because I just saw it was available.
He came back from cooldown, I think.
Did not get one right after, and Perk stays alive. Good kick from Trick.
Very tight timings here. The gold lead still only that 1,000. The previous game was competitive for a while. This one incredibly close as well. SKT still holding the lead, but certainly within arm's reach. Take a look at the play yet again in the mid lane. Perk's going to get hit up by the axe. That means Peanut's saying it's time to go, and there's no way out for the Orianna. Under the turret they go. SKT pick up their 4th kill.
It is so hard to play mid lane without flash against things like Olaf and LeBlanc. It's so easy then to get onto you and just keep you slowed.
And I have to say, you know, it's always SKT looking for those capitalizations after the fight. Almost all summoners on both sides were burned in that last bottom lane fight, and immediately Peanut is looking for a big punish on a flashless Orianna in the mid lane. He's got the advantage for the gank setup with the LeBlanc, and they are able to finalize that kill.
We've seen multiple times this series, G2 use ultis to try and kill the waves as soon as they get to the tower. Like when they're big waves, they don't want to risk SKT getting early objectives and open up the map. So they're fine using these ultis just to kill the minions and stop any tower push from happening. It does mean, however, they're going to be weaker for fights. And obviously the following minute, Trick.
Steal gonna go over to Peanut though. Trick smites a bit early and Peanut makes it happen.
Very important that Peanut is actually staying on that side of the dragon, so he blocks the Q from Trick. Makes it a little bit harder for him to get enough damage down to combine with the smite.
Yeah, exactly, especially since with the Reckless Link on Olaf, you can get extra true damage in there to add to your smite.
Timed it well. Trick hoped that an early smite would land in between. Didn't happen there. 1,500 gold lead plus the Mountain Drake is SKT's lead right now. Faker back to the mid lane. Completed Gunblade plus Sork Shoes. He is threatening. Perks very heavily MR stacked with the Negatron Cloak plus Merc Treads.
And while G2 are down in gold, the lane that's behind the most in farm is the top lane, and that's okay. That's just your tank. The fact that it's Kalista and Orianna getting the CS advantages is pretty huge for G2 and the following team fights. Like, you really want to get your 2 items by here.
Oh man, the pressure is still there. SKT able to utilize Faker's actual lane lead.
Yeah, screw that CS. Doesn't matter. Faker can just keep getting some kills near mid.
And this will transition to a scary, scary SKT. The extra teleport coming up soon. Faker actually fighting off Trick.
Trick, I don't think realized he didn't have his kick up just yet, or was hoping to bait a flash or something, but it hasn't come up from cooldown just yet, so he didn't get much out of that one. Faker again jukes right, gets away from Mythy.
They got going option number 1 there. Looked like he thought the cooldown was already up. Yeah. Not quite so.
It was so clean until he pressed R and nothing happened. SKT starting to really put the pressure in. Peanut once again inside that opposing jungle. Faker and Wolf coming around as well, maybe bot lane in their sights.
We can always see when you win that mid lane, like when you kill the enemy mid lane and force them back to base, it just opens up the map so much for you. You can now go bot lane, you can go top lane. Perkz is getting ganked by so many different people right now, and he still doesn't have flash. It's been down since that fight in the bot lane. He's died twice now.
Yeah, both teams have been very well aware how pivotal mid lane is in this matchup. Once again, returning here is G2. All members available. Teleports off of cooldown now.
Well, that is actually first turret gold to G2. The pressure back in the mid lane is going to outrace Faker, who will answer the turret itself and retain the gold lead of SKT, but G2's actually still had some pretty good macro plays in the mid game, setting these things up as Faker takes away the wave, will take away this, and Perkz forced to run away from Bang.
See what else they can do. Top lane right now, damage on turret is non-existent. Same for the bottom lane.
Again, let's talk about the strategy here with SKT, with their double teleports. Pulling G2 apart is the name of the game. They have Tahm Kench and Twitch, these unaccountable for threats that can come from the mid lane. Every time they shove up that minion wave, you have to worry, where are SKT striking next?
Yeah, it has to be Expect sitting in the Faker lane, because he can sit there with magic resistance and just wave clear. And then you use Kalista Thresh in the opposite side lane to fight against that second teleport from SKT. Faker right now is obviously trying to trade against the Galio, but he's not dealing enough damage, and this is now a time for G2 to try and make a play at the top side, but you can see SKT already reacting. Wolf and Bang, they're up here. They're reading the play.
Well played SKT, able to play the defense quite nicely. No one's in the mid lane right now. They're going for the dive on this side as well. Sven running out of health pretty hard. Even just damage is enough maybe to push him off the turret and go for some structure damage here.
Minion wave advantage in the mid lane to G2 as Perkz was able to push up, but top lane, damage onto the turret now for SKT.
Nice play, good damage on a Bang. Hook is there, but look at Wolf just keeping him safe, and you know it's going to happen every time.
Most annoying feeling in the world when you play Thresh. Tahm Kench ruining your day. Now there's no Devour. Oh, Trick didn't hit it.
Peanut's around, of course he can be saved by Sven. They gotta go for Trick instead. A lot of damage on the Lee Sin. Still looking for a bit more. Is Peanut? Q's gonna land. They're gonna go for the play. Shots right back up. A Trick kicks back in. Bang, and this time there's no way back out for him. But the chase is on, and Peanut's gonna kill one. Bang actually able to kill him with the poison damage instead. The chase in for Faker, who's gonna jump back out. 1-0 SKT, and there's more coming.
They fell into SKT traps, and now the trap is closing.
In between the turrets, they're going for more. Sven is dead already in the list. Not much else to do. Here comes Smith. He's got the shield, but it's not going to be living him for much longer. The chase is on, and it's going to be a kill in for the Olaf. It's Peanut taking him down.
SKT, as well. Step number 1, pull G2 apart. Perkz was still stuck in the mid lane. The Orianna, no way of joining this possible fight. Teleport comes through. Faker's there. Bang and Wolf. Now they're turning on the Baron.
Here we go on a Baron. It is 5,000 health, and there's really no chance of a steal. Expect's going to hope and pray, but looks like they're not going to be in for this one. Game swinging more towards SKT as they take this one in. Not going to land the chain on a Perkz, but maybe they get some damage onto Expect. Shockwave is an air ball, but SKT choose to defend and back up for now with their new Baron buff.
And it all starts with SKT just reading the map so well. They know, okay, G2's way to kind of play this mid game is the Kalista Thresh lane in a side lane pushing in. So they swap Bang and Wolf up into that lane, and they have the double TP in mid and bot lane, so they both can react and just join in case a fight breaks out. But this is still okay for both teams. Then you go in, and this is the problem. Yes, you get in the fight, but Wolf would just deny the damage on Tahm Kench.
10 out of 10 there Another great devour from Wolf. Here comes Huni on the rumble, and the ultimate now from Wolf to cut off the escape. Nowhere for Mithy or Sven to go, except back to base.
Nothing to do. Just alone. That's one of the worst feelings in League of Legends. You're like, all right, guys, I'm under my turret. I can't possibly be more well defended, but I am guaranteed to die for this one. You can see the damage output. Bang, set up for this Twitch game. And though the laning phase was difficult, he was forced under turret to farm and fight for scraps. Highest damage in that fight, 2, 1, and 4, certainly off the ground here. And SKT certainly have all the tools they need to claim their second straight MSI championship.
Looking very good for them right now. Faker is fed, Bang's been getting kills. Olaf has gotten a few as well. Huni, I guess he's part of the team.
He's got an assist. He's done something. He played lane pressure. The turret of his lane has died now.
He definitely pushed the waves, which is an important part of League of Legends.
Got the most farm in the game, all right? He's done the most wave pushing.
Very true.
Yep.
Huni definitely a crucial part of the team and getting SKT into this position where they are very close to raising that trophy. Baron buff aiding the siege here as they get in towards the inhibitor turret on bottom side, with Faker still taking trades, getting damage, and then using that gunblade to heal right back up off the minion wave.
He's not afraid to keep pushing here. Wolf takes some damage, but that was a big ulti from Perks.
Yeah, he was looking for Bang on the edge of the shockwave there.
Big ulti.
It sounds impressive.
Yeah. Bam, you got Wolf. There you go.
Now the pressure continues. Baron buff on for 1 more minute. Into the mid lane they go, nearly taken down. Perks forcing his barrier
denied.
Slightly denied. Either way, into the mid lane. Bang gets aggro again. He forgets about his passive, but that's still going to go down, and Faker going to stay alive as he tries to chunk out Trick. Turrets falling across the map. Huni still pushing the top side. Baron's still up for 40 seconds as well. Sven, the next target in the sights of SKT, as they're going to retreat out of this one. No CC really dealt by Expect. Flash going to find Wolf for the first target, but the tank is not an easy one to kill. Once again, stealth up. Bang has the attack speed for more damage. Of an equalizer across the back. It is kind of a miss, though. Doesn't get much. Only pops the Hexbreaker of Trick. He gets away with this one. More damage out of Expect, and G2 not able to find a chase.
Oh, yeah. Even with the lead, you know, SKT a little bit rough there on the disengage. Peanut, though, goes offensive to chase off the damage dealers during the taunt flash there from Expect. So there wasn't DPS behind the initiation.
While he's going aggressive, Wolf is just sitting behind the team, saving them left and right. He devoured Faker there, then flashed away with Faker as well. And it's just, it's so impressive when you watch like a Tahm Kench player, not because of his mechanics, like you click W on a target, that's pretty simple, but more the positioning, knowing where you need to be on the map when a play's about to happen, because if you show up too late, well then the carry's already dead.
Exactly, and so often one of the big mistakes you'll see with Tahm Kench players is devouring early. Wolf, time and time again, he waits for the spell to come out, or he'll wait for the commitment from the enemy team. Lee Sin's flying towards their team. Whoop! Then he goes for the devour. He doesn't do it early. Now he gets kicked in, though.
They have to go for Wolf. The shockwave is there. All the cooldowns burn for the tank, and it means nothing. The re-engage is here in SKT.
Well, they're all coming mid now.
Here comes the flank out from the mid lane. The G2 forced to flash away from their opponents. First kill comes through as Perks hits the mat. Faker going to be next at the takedown. Trick gets the kill. 2 for 0. 10-3 overall in the game. Sven next up to fall. It's a 3rd kill in a row. Peanut now on a rampage. SKT 10,000 gold ahead. Their victory all but assured.
SK Telecom inside the base. Inhibitor under fire. 3 members of G2 dead.
And let's see if they go for more. 15 seconds on the respawns. SKT gonna look towards the bot lane. They've got a wave that Faker can set up. The Ocean Drake regens them a bit. And they are gonna stay inside the base a little bit longer, but respawns in 10 seconds. A turret is the most they can get without a fight back.
That's still enough for them to get another one. Expect is trying to be annoying here.
He does taunt Faker, doesn't get enough damage on a Wolf though, waiting for the team to respawn. They're coming now. The rocket comes in, or the Lantern, I should say, looks for Bang. They find a little bit of something here. Ward hops in, brings in Wolf with the Twitch alongside. The taunt is there, the Shockwave as well. 2 quick kills for G2, the best to make something out of this.
Yeah, that was such a nice play from Trick. He waited with his move here for the Devour to happen, and then you just kick Wolf back into your team. Don't try and kick the Twitch, because then he's obviously just going to escape. Such a nice play from Trick, but it's 2 kills for G2. Sadly, there's no Baron for him to take, there's no Drake to take, there's no real tower to take. Like, SKT are so far ahead in this game that these 2 kills will not really do a lot for you.
Yeah, they just have to do cleaning duty right now. Clear up the minion waves, clear up the vision, try and get something over by Baron so that you have a hope of that big comeback play around the Baron, and hope for a mistake from SK Telecom.
Almost never see these mistakes from SKT where they actually end up throwing away a lead. They are so good at playing when they're ahead. Now we might see some more action.
All mistakes here. Peanut taking a lot of damage. Gonna try to run away as best he can. Here comes the follow in for Minty. Can't quite get much, but it is a low HP jungler. G2 say this is the time we come back for the fight. Can they get anything? The play is gonna miss though, and that means no more engage to be had.
We see the same thing again here. G2, they're trying to find the engages, but it's so hard against this comp from SKT with the Devour. There's just no easy hard engage for G2 to use to try and get some picks here.
Take another look at this siege from SKT. 3 members here and expect go straight for Bang. Trick gonna land the Q.
He waits, and then he sees the Devour and he goes for the play.
Able to get both of them back, and he kicks them into this shockwave that's going to come from Perks as well to secure those kills.
Really nicely done, and damage on that mage who you know can one-shot people. Void Staff now completed. That threat is there, but it's going to require still a minor miracle for G2 to make a comeback in this one. 11,000 behind.
Yeah, 11,000 gold plus already SKT have 1 Mountain Drake. The next one will be trivial for them to take. And with 2 Mountain Drakes, this big of a lead, plus vision control and mid inhibitor down, the Baron bait from them, or even the Baron rush for them, are both very viable options to end this game out.
It's almost a formality at this point. SKT have most certainly all the tools that they need. The cheering Brazilian fans know the impending victory is coming.
And what do you do if you're G2? Do you risk it all on trying to stop a Baron when you have to walk in blind? And then suddenly you can get collapsed on, you can't see where the Twitch is before the fight starts. Or do you just sit and base them and let them get Baron and try and defend near your Nexus turrets? Like, it's almost a lose-lose if you are G2 at this point because you're falling so far behind.
Here's the flank once again on Trick with no jungler. It's even harder to secure a Baron, and Trick is dead. Even more of a formality. There's almost no way G2 stops this one. Huni gonna start it up early on. Shockwave only catches one of the frontliners though, and Bang pops the ulti for a bit more damage. Hooked in, eaten back up by Wolf, but it does buy some time. Expect now on the front. And Baron has been part of this fight, so it's a bit of a split focus.
And Peanut's 1v1 with the Baron. Goes down to half health. Eventually he gets a friend, but Wolf on the outside.
G2 actually find a bit of an opening. They're pulling in the team. They're going to go for this fight against Bang, and Wolf exhaust is on and expect part of the fray. And SKT actually splitting their focus too much. 2 kills will go through to G2, but Huni going to rejoin the fight first. The flame spin is there. Zoda's buys some time. Fake for the back line. Going to take down Perks. Then next up to kill, and Peanut takes him down as well. It looks like it's not enough for G2 to get with this one. Not to expect any kills here on this as Peanut finds his double, and the tank will go down last, but assuredly he will be falling here as well as Faker wants it to happen, and Huni's going to make it so. Trick has respawned, but SKT even farther ahead than before.
Yeah, SKT though, they're so low after this. They don't feel like they can rush Baron. They want to just go back, get full HP, and then go back and try and make the exact same play, because they end up getting more kills. Trick is on a solo mission. Finds Faker and a Grump.
Hits Faker.
A lot of damage there, but look at the damage output back. He is not nearly the damage
hits back.
Hits back harder. Hits back a bit harder. Now for the 2-man Baron, the rest of the team coming in shortly.
SK Telecom currently on the 2 World Championship streak, about to be on a 2 MSI Championship streak as they've got Baron buff and looking to finish out the 3rd game in this series.
See the play again. Perks trying to get Bang here with the shockwave for Bang. Quick movement, steps out of it, and then Wolf of course saves Bang right after. And SKT, they will split up. at the moment. I think Bang and Wolf kind of realize they can't walk down and join the team, and that's why they get engaged on.
Yeah, good call there from G2. They have very limited options, right? So any opening that they see SKT split up, they have to jump on. Even though it's low probability of success and they are so far behind, they get some sort of advantage here. Bang is out. The Twitch is down.
And SKT comes in, Faker, not really under threat, so you can finally sit in that fight and wait for the passive to be ready, and then kill Perks. Peanut, of course, running Rampage on this Olaf. And again, it's what we talk about. Whenever SKT gets the advantage, you just almost never feel like they lose it again. They always manage to just kind of push on all your turrets, set up around Baron, and even when it looks like you have a small chance, they can turn it around so quickly.
You can see SKT just crossing the T's and dotting the I's at this point. Faker looking for another play on Perks. Does manage to juke away for now, but with the Baron buff on, they're looking to close out the game, close out the match, and close out the tournament. Trick on the side, doesn't find anyone to fight though. And with the slows from Peanut, Bang is going to be able to clean that one out pretty easily. Not even a threat onto him just yet. Faker once again on the front line, gonna find Mithy for this. Pulled back in, nice by Sven to buy him some time. And now they go down for inhibitor number 2. The base falling apart little by little. 5v4 on the map. Gold lead 16,000. Baron buff on the 5 as well. And here we go. Nexus turret's about to fall. SKT to cement themselves the championship. G2's redemption is nice, but SKT going through the crucible of the mid-season invitational to lock it down as the best team in the world. And SKT are once again the champions. Of SKT. The players may change. The pedigree stays the same. If you join SKT, you are very likely to become a world champion and called the best in your role.
I mean, it's just the amazing thing about SKT. The organization have built the structure around these players so they can do this again and again.
And what a feeling this must be for Huni, who several years ago wanted to join SKT. They told him maybe you could be in the practice squad, but didn't make the full roster. Came to Europe, played on Fnatic, came to North America, played on Immortals. Finally got the call saying, Huni, we want you. Comes and joins the team, and in his first international tournament, takes the trophy.
He had to travel the world, but now gets to stand side by side with Faker and Coma to raise that MSI trophy.
That duo, Faker and Coma, been with SKT ever since they won the Season 3 World Championships and started.
They've honestly been SKT.
They've been SKT, so you can keep swapping members out left and right. Rapid's not there with the team as well, the assistant coach. And they just keep on winning. It's so impressive. They can be so consistent.
This makes their, I believe, 5th or 6th, depending on your definition. Right, international commitment for SKT.
Temos também o atirador carregador da Red Canids, BRTT. E o bicampeão do mundo de futebol, Ronaldo.
That's the number that asks the analysts.
Thank you very much. Free SK Telecom, your 2017 mid-season invitational champions. As you can see here, world superstar, football superstar, 2-time World Cup champion Ronaldo making his way onto the stage, along with another very famous face, VRTT, in the League of Legends community, to present SK Telecom with their winners' medals.
One legendary 2-time World Cup champion here to award to a couple 2-time world champions of League of Legends.
And let's remember, SK Telecom has just completed the most dominant 2-year run in the history of League of Legends as an esport.
And something that I don't think will ever be equaled. We're still very young in League of Legends as a sport, as an esport. However long the game goes, this sort of dominance that looked impossible at the start of the scene, we're a part of history, just watching on as SKT continue to make it.
I love what I saw when they went for the MSI trophy as well. Hooney getting selected first, making sure Peanut could get to lift that trophy as well, bringing the whole team into this experience.
Yeah, we have to remember, as was said at the beginning of the day, Papa Smithy, that this organization is a dynasty with members that have, come and left, and yet the dominance has always been there. For those two members, their first international win in a Riot tournament, Hooney and Peanut should be proud.
They were chasing something, honestly, every player is when they move along, but when you move to SKT, it's the big goal that you're chasing, and for Hooney, it's a culmination, as Freak put, of a very long and winding path to get to SK Telecom. And for Peanut, he was the one who was supposed to take down SKT. He went the other route. Feeling pretty damn good about his decision now.
And we can't forget the guy behind it all, right? Coma there on your screen getting his medal as well. I mean, this man is a great mind within League of Legends esports.
And that's really what it takes, because not only within League of Legends, but really across all sport, it's rare to see this kind of dominance. This level of domination internationally for this many years. And Faker, the man himself, the greatest player of all time.
Receiving the medal from one of the greatest footballers of all time.
A transformative footballer in his own right. Ronaldo was a superstar and then some. Speaking of superstars.
Very true. I mean, you've got Faker on your team. The fact that you can make a name for yourself, the likes that Peanut has, I mean, it's incredible. Wolf as well, outspoken in his own individual abilities, shows up time and time again, has matured fantastically as a player here.
Can we step back for a moment? 7 years into the esport, we have Ronaldo passing a gold medal to Faker.
Much-deserved trophy raised once again by our 2017 mid-season invitational champions, and the crowd wild as ever, loud as ever. Very pleased with the showing from both teams today. We have to remember that SK Telecom was challenged today. This did not come easily for them, and yet they fought through and achieved victory.
And even though SKT often makes it look easy, it's never easy. Everyone wants this just as much as SKT does, but time and time again, SKT showed they are the best.
And this just raises the question, how far does this team and this organization go? I mean, Papa Smith, you said perhaps a run that will never be matched again, but let's remember that this run's not over, right? They've just hit one milestone, and now it's about, can they push forward? They'll be defending champions if they are to make it to the 2017 World Championships later this year.
It's the sort of run that should never happen, Dash. The game changes every meta. The meta has evolved, and SK Telecom have rolled with the meta, and that's why the domination is unprecedented.
And to answer that question, you have to ask another. When does Faker and Coma retire? When do they, stop? Because it has to feel like these guys are so good and are so dominant that they may not stop winning until they choose to step down.
I mean, you forget how young Faker is as a player, right? Because he's been at that level of dominance for so long, as you mentioned, Jet. And it feels, like, in order to be there, the experience that he's acquired, the poise that he presents on stage and against adversity. Let's remember, he's focused the entire series here. That guy rises above all, does what is need to be done to support his team in their quest for the championship, and hey, that's why he's on that stage every single time at the end of the tournament.